Yeah, I got a delivery yesterday. I'm just getting ready to unload. Threw it on the truck so it was out of the rain. But I gotta get it off the truck. But I just got the last of the seed corn I'm gonna plant this year. And I ordered some from another place. Got 4 bags of it right there. And then I got the seed corn I have left from last year, which it's gonna be a mix of things. I just gotta figure out. Keep changing my mind where I'm gonna plant it, but planting this stuff. What I got left from last year yet is last year I planted that open pollinated Reed's Yellow Dent. I still got approximately 2 bags left of that. And that's the corn that I ended up chopping off for silage because it wasn't going to make it. Like I've said before, I knew I was making... Didn't think I was making that big of a mistake, but I knew it was kind of a mistake to be planting 100 and... I think that corn's 112 day. May 26th, I think I planted this. And I mean, we had the weather for it, but it might have made it, but I wasn't taking a chance. At the beginning of September there, it was only in the blister yet. Starting to make kernels. Some had some good kernels. But I wasn't going to take the chance on it, so that's why I chopped that off. So I got 2 bags of that left. And then last year I had 2 different hybrids. I got roughly... I forget now, I had it wrote down. It's like 1.5 bags of the one variety, maybe 2 bags of the other variety or something. But for the most part, what I have left from last year would probably pretty close plant to everything that I had corn in last year. So right now I got 7 more bags. But this year, I was going to get some more of the hybrid, but again, by the time I get around to it, a lot of it was sold out. And I'm looking at a different direction here right now. Right here, this one's called Krugs. It's an offshoot of that Reed's Yellow Dent, but it's only 89 or 92 day. So I think, I'm almost certain that's what I'm going to plant down to my cousins. Because I got almost enough ground probably for them 4 bags in that one field. And it's a little bit, I don't want to say drier ground down there, but I got a little better of a chance. Problem I have down there is the hills, but pulling uphill. But usually that ground, for the most part, it can go, so it's kind of want that down there. But, yeah. The corn I got yesterday, now this is the one I am experimenting with for the most part. What I'm trying to do is get a different market. And this corn I got here is Bloody Butcher. This is another open pollinated corn. So 90% of my corn this year is going to be open pollinated corn. But the one problem with this is 110 days. So I mean, I got to get this stuff in the beginning part of May, at least by the 2nd week of May. But why I'm doing this corn, this is a red corn. All these other ones are yellow. This one's going to is a red corn. One of the things that lists on there, it is drought tolerant or highly tolerant, however you want to word it. And it's just my feeling, and I'm wrong on everything, but it's just my feeling this year we're going to be the ones with the drought. Because you watch the last couple of years, if you watch the same YouTube channels that I watch, now some of them have been dry every year, but 3-4 years ago, Welkers started in a drought. And they're still basically in a drought. I wouldn't say drought conditions, but they're dry. But they've had droughts in the summer. They've had low yields because of it. And then I don't want to say Millennial Farmer was quite last year. But I know like Brian's farming videos, they were dry last year and their yields suffered. So to me, it's looking like it's inching east. And I just have the feeling that it's going to be our year for it. So that's one reason why I went with this. Another reason why I went with this is I'm looking to get a different market. You know, kind of have to have a niche market a specialty you can get into. And this corn is one of the desirable ones for distilling, for making whiskeys and bourbons. It is based on its flavor profile that it gives it, and it's a higher sugar content, I think. Higher protein, higher sugar, it yields more. So a lot of distillers, this is a preferred one for them. I mean, they can use the yellow, it's no big difference, but certain things give certain profiles. And I had talked to a local, I Googled it and looked around here. There's like 4 or 5 distillers in our area. And I Googled one, or talked to the one, I should say. And hell, I talked to him for about an hour. Really, really good guy and stuff. And he's got a supply for this right now. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to force somebody out or take over somebody. But if what I'm looking for, somebody that's looking for it, And they've been distilling since 2015, and they have a guy that supplies, and I think they do grow a lot of their own too, but they have a guy that supplies a lot of their stuff too since they opened, and they're actually getting bloody butcher off of him right now. But he also did say that they never know one year to the next what he's got. One year he'll have winter red wheat, next year he'll have barley, next year he'll have something else. I mean, I think he plants a variety of things. But he rotates around, so sometimes they got it and sometimes they don't. Now, if I really wanted to get into supplying them, I mean, he told me one thing, the one grain they're really looking for, which is barley. But my issue is I don't have no way to combine it. The one guy would have had a chance maybe coming in here to combine it if he's got it running and stuff. The one that died. And I mean, nobody else around here has a small combine or time or whatever. Everybody else has got the big dual 4-wheel drive 30-foot Draper headers, and they don't want to come and do this 2-acre field here. So unless I got a combine, that's an issue. And then the next issue is I have nowhere to store grain like that. So I mean, it's 1,000 or 1,200 bushel grain bin over at the heifer barn there, but the floor's shot in it. The foundation's buckling or breaking off. So it's going to take some work to use it. No drying floor. So that's an issue. So that's why I'm sticking with the corn for right now and the hay. And then there's a third reason I'm planning this, because I want to fill a crib with red corn. I just want a crib of red corn. Everybody has cribs of yellow corn. I want a crib of red corn, because that's the other gist of this, how I'm going to have to make this work. And the plan is to get that picker running, but I'm going to have to pick this to crib it so it can air dry. And then I'll have to go back and possibly I'll have to run it through the sheller if I'm selling it that way. So, but the down point of doing this is I don't have a guaranteed market for it. And I don't know if I could take this like to the feed mill and just put it through their bin like yellow corn. I don't know if they'd have a problem with it or not. But the other deal is if I crib it and I can't sell it, I'll grind it for myself. But there's several other uses for this. Grits, flour for baking and stuff. This is one of the higher desirable ones, and you can pick this corn. I don't know what the flavor or the tenderness is going to be, but you can pick this and eat it like sweet corn too. I think with all these corns you can, just what stage you get it. So that's some of the benefits and drawbacks of why I'm planting this. But again, I'm trying to, if corn's going to be $3 a bushel at the mill, and I can find a marketed distiller that's willing to pay $4 a bushel for it, that's kind of the goal I'm going for. Plus, it's a lower input, lower cost up front. Will I make any more? I don't know, but that's the plan on that. It's the same with that Krugs. I might actually just pick a crib of that. I got 2 cribs, so I can do a crib of yellow, a crib of red. Because like I mentioned there before, the guy helped there haul corn. The guy was working from there a year ago. Want to know if I knew anybody with ear corn, because they had Amish looking for ear corn. And there's a lot of Amish around here, so that's always the option. Like sell it out of the crib. I mean, even selling this to Amish, You know, if they want to make grits or something for them, I mean, I'm sure a lot of them grow their own and stuff, but that's always an option. I don't know if I'd be better off, but like that hay auction I go to, livestock auction we have here, people bring bag stuff in. You know, they'll have oats, barley, shelled corn, you know, all kinds of different things bagged up in the feed bags. And that's the other thing I thought, you know, I could bag up 10 bags of that a week and take it down there. You know, I'd have to hopefully get $7 or $8 a hundred for it to be comparable to shelled corn. But then down there, you got guys probably looking for ear corn for deer. That's a big market for some guys. I don't think much around here, but I see guys that grow corn specifically for that. I mean, if I take bags of red corn, you know, Amish might buy that to shell themselves and stuff like that. And the other benefit of planting these open pollinated corns is if we have these trade wars and the prices of everything go to hell and all these tariffs shouldn't affect seed corn that much. You know, it's going to affect more fertilizer. But if it's going to drive prices up like everybody's hysterical about, I take the best ears I find. And from what I read, if you got an area in the field that's got high weed pressure and it's got a good stalk of corn in there, that's one of the ones you want to take for seed. It has battled against stresses to make it a stronger plant, and you're going to have a stronger seed from that. But like I say, I can save this seed next year, or that Krugs, or Reed's Yellow Dent, whatever I want. I can save seed from that. You know, right here, these 3 boxes was $446, I think. That's shipping everything. This is $96 a bag. Where a lot of the hybrids you're buying nowadays is $300. But you're planting this at less per acre, but you're not going to suspect 200 bushel acre corn to this. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys saying 130, some say maybe up to 150. But, you know, if I get in that 120 to 150 range, I would be happy. So, and then a lot of guys are saying they're planting it without commercial fertilizers, just the manure they put on. I'll get into all more details about this one later on, but that's one of the main reasons. And then they had a deal on this thing. Well, they had it discounted and got free shipping with it. So I ordered this. This is how you shell corn. You can stick an ear in there and you twist this and shells it off. But so I bought that so in case I do save some for seed. That was the plan last year with that Reed's Yellow Dent, but it didn't work out. So I'm going to put a little more effort into it this year, try to get to that point. And, but again, like I say, the drawbacks of open pollinated corns are that it's not going to all ripen at the same time. It's the other benefit of it. It doesn't pollinate all at the same time. They'll pollinate over a week's time or a week and a half. So it's not all pollinating at the same time. So if you had a weather event that, and it's happened where it just knocked the tassels off the corn or something, or the pollen out of it, and before it got a chance to pollinate, and it had lower yields. Where this, you got more of a wide band across there. You know, most hybrids is like a 3-4 day window for pollinating. Now again, like I say, it's variable height corns. You know, that's anything I've seen the hybrids, short corn, tall corn. Yeah, dry down is another factor. I mean, it's a lot of the problems with this corn is what they've bred into these hybrids to take care of these problems, but people still do it, done it for years. It's a proven thing. It just takes a little different management for it, probably. So that's what I'm doing in that. Now, the other thing, I don't actually know how much seed I got here. I got 40, these are 48-pound bags. Now, most hybrids come in 80,000 kernel units. And that's what they'll do. They'll take random samples of corn and they'll weigh out a pound of it, and then they'll count the kernels, and then, or they'll count out 1,000 kernels and see what it weighs, and then they'll calculate it out, because a hybrid bag of seed corn can be anywhere from 38 to, I've seen up as high as 54 pounds for an 80,000 count kernel. Well, this here, you either buy it by the bushel, 56 pounds, Or you buy it by this bag, 48 pounds, and I guess they will sell 10 pounds, 5 pounds. I ordered from this company because it's the only one that had a decent price in this range. There's places out there, they wanted over $200 for the same seed. And these guys were 96. But this is the cheapest I could find, best place I could find it. But like this Krugs, them are 48 pound bags too, but the guy told me there's roughly 81,000 kernels. That's what they figure in that seed. So it's a little higher than a standard unit of corn. But the reason why you either buy it by the bushel, 56 pounds, or by these bags, 48 pounds, is the shipping. If you bought a bushel, 56 pounds, it's overweight for UPS and there's extra charges. Cost you more. Where 48 pounds, they can send it UPS, the shipping rates are a lot cheaper. Now, depending what you're buying, I forget what he said. Last year, the corn I got, well, at Reed's Yellow Den, I bought 6 bags of that last year and they sent it all through FedEx. The hybrid corn I bought, they palletized that and shipped a truck. So depending on what you're getting, how much you're getting, buying it by a 56 pound bushel bag and having shipped truck freight could end up be a better deal. But for amounts like this, sending it UPS like this was the better way to go. Now, I say I don't see anything on here. Usually some of them give a seed count or something. But this could be 75,000, this could be 80,000. Now, kind of does feel like decent sized kernels. But yeah, the other problem, I think, if I said or not, 110 day for this corn. But again, if I get it in the beginning of May, it should work out. So, I guess that's the long, well, I should say this is the long and make something short. You know, I always give away too much detail, but that's what it is right now. So I'm going to have 3 open pollinated corns and 2 hybrids I'm going to plant. And like I said, these hybrids normally plant around 30 to 32,000. These open pollinateds, I've seen them say as low as 12,000 per acre. But most of them are 18, basically 18 to 24,000 if you're picking it, and up to 26 to 28,000 if you're chopping it. I don't know. Well, what I planted last year, I planted at 26,000 because you also got to remember you got a germination of 90%. And that's the other one, is probably lower germination. But so you're going to have that much loss, 10% loss. So you plant 26,000 and get 24,000. So, and that's pretty much standard all. You know, a lot of hybrids have a little lower or a little higher germination maybe. But that's part of my thoughts and theories on this. Like I said, I'm trying to go after a side market, not specifically just selling it to grain. Well, maybe corn's going up, made some mistakes. I seen a video today, guys took corn yesterday to sell and he got $5. So, but by October, who knows? But if, oh, that was the other part. If in order to work this, to sell for the distillers, to shell it, if I can, now like I say, I got these, I'd have to get an auger. But I got them 2 bins over there. One I do have an auger on it to unload it, but I don't have nothing to fill it. But that would be that's my option right now to be able to do that. If I can pick that corn, get it in the crib, get it dried down to under 14–15%, run it through the sheller, I can bring it down here, store it in that bin. I had calculated, them are what they call 9-ton bins, and I think I had figured out it holds maybe 700 bushel. 600 at least per bin, I think. So I could shell that crib of corn and put it all in there after it's dry to store it. I don't have no fans on it, so that's not going to be ideal for a long term, you know, I mean, for most of the winter. But it's not something, I'd probably only fill the one anyhow. But like I say, you gotta work with what you got. The only other drawback about doing that, I'm gonna have a pile of cobs I have to clean up, and again, just throw them in the shit spreader, take them out of the field, dump them off, I guess. I mean, it's gonna be some labor to do it if I go that route. If not, like I say, just grind it for myself. So, but I'm gonna get these unloaded. I've rambled on here enough, and just thought I'd share that. That's what the plan is for right now. I say it could change tomorrow for all I know, but that's the plan. That's the goal I'm going for, and we'll see how this turns out. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later.